On financing, MCR 2030, financing disaster risk reduction and resilience solutions at the local level. How many of you are excited to be here? You can raise your hands. Okay, great. I know it's at the end of a day and you're tired from a very long day, but we promise that this will be your most interactive session. And it will be an interesting session because you're also going to make it interesting and fun. And we are all going to learn about solutions, financing solutions for resilience at a local level. I am Elizra Fabian, and I am the Arise focal point for Dominica. And I'm also a member of the global board for Arise. Arise is the Alliance, Private Sector Alliance for Disaster Resilient Societies. You will learn more about Arise when you come to this, but also about the recommendations that we are proposing. So as you're aware, it's really important to finance resilience on a local level. And this must be done through partnerships, through collaborations with many different organizations. And from our different booths that you will attend today, you'll be able to gain perspectives from our experts, I call you the experts, in the different topic areas. And we know that access to finance is one of the biggest hurdles. Maybe I should ask, is access to finance easy? Do you think it's easy for financing on a local level? If you think it's easy, please raise your hands. Do you think it's a challenge? Okay, do you think there are solutions? Do you think there are solutions? Okay, great. So we'll be engaging to learn more about these solutions. And the objective today is to understand the opportunities for financing the implementation of resilient solutions, and also to understand the road for our local governments to access funding opportunities. I think this is really important for all of us here today. I want to introduce to you that at our different booths, we have the private sector booth. Elisa Trio will be joining me at this booth and will be leading on private sector. There's a multilateral booth with Oscar. Oscar, could you raise your hand so they could all see you? At the back here, so we have private sector, then multilateral. We have the Climate Bonds Initiative booth with Andres and Sophia here. And we have the risk insurance booth with Rodrigo Perpetua. Rodrigo is at the back here. Now, throughout the session, you will spend 10 minutes at each booth, all right? What we really want to do to make it easier, well, we do have translation in this room now, so that's really good. We have these 4 different booths. So those in the middle, you will have to pick and choose which one you would want to join, but you would have to join one of them. So at this booth, you will have a 3-minute presentation from the moderator of that booth. And then you have 7 minutes for questions and answers to try to understand a bit more of what is being presented, understanding the opportunities and looking at the solutions. After 10 minutes, you will get a notification. Everyone will get a buzz. Well, we'll hear the buzz from Clemma, and you'll move to the next one. So if you're here, you move to this booth. If you're in this booth, you move to this one. So we move anti-clockwise, right? So at the end of the 40 minutes, you could stop at that table, and then we'll have some questions and answers through Slido, where we'll ask you to go onto slido.do, you enter the code, and you're able to participate in 3 questions. 1 multiple choice, 1 rating, and 1 answers to share with us the gaps or the lessons that you've learned. So it's going to be a really interesting session. We're going to have lots of fun because it's as fun as you are, and I believe you're fun. You're here because you want to learn, and we're going to have a grand time together. So we know, anybody have any questions before we go, or is it understandable? You think everyone has understood? Great. So we now put up the timer, and we'll have our first 10 minutes at the booth that you are. At the end of 10 minutes, I would invite you to move to the next booth. Enjoy your booth, everyone. So welcome, everyone, to the private sector booth. Yes?
I tell you, minutes now, right? para ciudad definitiva de ciudades. Definitiva para gobiernos locales.
Bueno, él me vino para el taller.
Ajá.
Entonces yo me mandé para acá.
Sí.
Y ahora salieron, pero la financiación y me venía a decir que van a firmar.
Es que hay un financiamiento para ciudades. Entonces son ambos, es ciudades y financiamiento.
Bien, MCR.
Ajá.
Está. ¿Entendieron mal entonces ellos?
Es lo que les dije.
Porque financiamiento es el otro, el C.
Es que los dos hablan de financiamiento, pero eso es específicamente para las ciudades.
Perfecto, entonces yo.
Okay, we just have 15 seconds remaining. 15 seconds.
Tradução quer dizer.
Okay, okay, great. Yes, great. Yes. Thank you, everyone. We now invite you to move to the next table. So this table is moving to this table here, this one here, and this here, and this way across. Now we want to encourage everyone who's here to register, because after you register, you'll also receive the documents from today's session. So we invite everyone who is part of it to ensure to register. So those of you here, you move here, and we just move clockwise.
Thank you.
Sorry, and counter, yeah, counterclockwise. Okay, great. We invite everyone to. Hello, welcome. Yes.
Have the time. You tell me when to start the 10 minutes, alright?
Okay, sure. Once we have to sit seated. Welcome everyone to the private sector booth. We're really happy that you're here with us this afternoon. Could I get a bit of knowledge of this part of the room? Is it private sector? Is it local government? Academia? National government? Okay, great. Corporation development? Corporation? Local government, and corporation. Okay, great. Well, really happy that all of you are here, and I'll be sharing a little bit about like a few examples of how we look at financing resilience well, the case is Dominica and Mexico. Elisa, if she comes through anytime, she'll be able to share more from the Mexico angle. But at this table, we'll be sharing from the private sector. So ARISE is the private sector alliance for disaster resilient societies. And ARISE is a global network where different countries who decide to be a part of ARISE can look at resilience from a private sector angle, but from different perspectives. Looking at strengthening MSMEs, resilient infrastructure, investments or financing, and also innovative insurance solutions. So these are some of like the main areas that ARISE is currently focusing on. And in Dominica, well, we focus ARISE, it's part of the Chamber of Commerce, which is called DAIC. In Mexico, which Elisa would have shared a little bit more about, they have incorporated ARISE into also a bigger model, which includes the Connecting Business Initiative and some other organizations within Mexico, which is their ecosystem for supporting resilience. In Dominica, we look at Arise with the Chamber and how we can strengthen partnerships so we can have more solutions for resilience. So I want to share that we've had two examples I want to share as practical examples of what we've done. The first one is we, as a Chamber Arise Network, we advocated to the government and we submit a policy paper every year with recommendations that will help develop the country. And one that we submitted last year was to give tax incentives for individuals who invest in personal insurance, that's health insurance, as well as the home insurance. So anyone who would have paid premiums for insurance last year, they got deductibles from their annual income tax for like filing for the last year, which is 2022. So this we see that if someone invested $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, I think up to $8,000, they could have that as tax deductible from their annual filing of their taxes. We believe that if individuals are more resilient and you as a human being, your family is more resilient, then that of course helps your corporation, your organizations to become more resilient as well. And we see that as one of the practical solutions. Another solution has been parametric insurance, and everyone familiar with parametric insurance? So parametric insurance, unlike the traditional insurance, where traditional insurance, you pay a premium, and if in case you fall sick or if in case something happens to your home, you submit a claim and they pay you for that. With parametric insurance is that you would say, I want to insure let's say my home against a hurricane category 3. And if it's declared that a category 3 hurricane comes, you get the payout. Now, if the category 3 hurricane comes and your house does not get any damage, you still get the payout. So it's an opportunity that you invest in this insurance. You put the money up to say, I want to get protection in case something happens, but you would have to have that specific contract with the company. And if in case something happens, you get the payout. If you're affected, then it's good that you get the payout. But if you're not affected, it's still good that you get the payout because you gave the investment. So in Dominica, after Hurricane Maria, I'm not sure if you heard of Hurricane Maria, category 5 and beyond hurricane that happened in Dominica. The country was almost totally devastated. There was an organization who supported the resilience in Dominica. They collaborated with the credit union, so cooperative. They collaborated with the credit union league, and they came up with this product to help with the resilience. So if farmers and fishermen, like small businesses as MSMEs, the most vulnerable ones, they would buy into this insurance, they pay the premium, and if in case they're affected, they would get the payouts for it. So this is another example of a practical solution to finance local resilience from Dominica. So I want to ask you now, do you have any questions? Here, of course, are the websites for Arise that you could find out more information. But would you have any questions about these models or any other questions that you have on how we finance resilience? Any feedback? Do you like anything? Do you have a different idea? No question? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. So every year we submit a paper to the government because the budget happens like in July, and by the end of the first quarter, like by March, April, we submit a document to the government recommending some key different policies that we want to see happen. And we had to have a discussion with the Prime Minister, with the Cabinet as well, explaining why we want this to happen. And they did the calculations to figure out, okay, if we accept this, how much money are we actually giving out? But then they would see if we allow persons to have it as tax deductible versus having to give money to individuals to do a surgery, to do health procedures, it was more efficient for them. Because we see more and more persons are reaching out to the government to ask social protection, well, funding. If they want to do an operation, if they want some medical procedures, they keep going individually to the government, and it's becoming more expensive. So if they encourage persons to take insurance, they will be using the insurance to finance as opposed to going through the government. So I'm not sure how long they will accept to continue doing that, but for now, they accept it so we can encourage individuals to invest in insurance. Do you think this is possible for your countries or your local areas? What do you think? What do you think? Okay. Peter?
Sería como lo ideal.
So you say it's very complicated to be able to do this in Ecuador, you said, right? Elisa is here right now, so if you have any questions from Mexico, she is able to also respond. But I do understand that it could get very complicated. Just before I came in the room, we had a launch of the Uruguay Arise, and I met the Chile colleagues who said that they just implemented a law to mandate that all MSMEs must have a disaster risk reduction plan, emergency plan, and disaster risk reduction plan. So I think it's really great that the political side, they see the importance of investing in resilience in this way. And I'm not sure how it is in Ecuador. Is there any like political support for MSMEs to be more resilient? 30 seconds to go. We have 30 seconds to go. 30 seconds before we move to the next table.
¿De dónde son los participantes? Where are they from? I'm sorry.
Okay. So
Perdón
the
que
first.
vengo a otra sesión. Pero son de puros gobiernos. ¿No?
No, corporation. Corporation.
Internacional.
Yeah. A national government of Uruguay, right? Argentina. Okay.
Entonces les explico ahorita ya cómo está el tema de la red. Ponemos sobre la mesa. ¿Alguno de ustedes de trabajo con la red? No.
Just that maybe we shed a little bit, but maybe we'll have the next table because we have to move now to the next one. But thank you very much for being part of the private sector booth. So thank you very much everyone for being at your booth. We now invite you to switch to the next booth so you could learn more about the other one. All right, thank you very much everyone. Thank you so much. Sorry to break you up, but we invite you to move to the next table. So, yes. Yes. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Muchas gracias. Thank you, everyone. We invite you to move to the next table. Welcome to the private sector booth here. Okay.
Dale volumen afuera, sí. Ah, ya, pero no hay un personal que lo haya recogido porque ahorita no hay. Ah, porque
Sí.
no está acá, lo ha buscado y no.
Sí, tal vez alguien lo ha entregado a algún personal.
Ahora averiguamos.
Ok, gracias.
Argentina and Chile project Adapta Clima.
that everyone files, because if you don't file, then it's a problem. So when you file, April will be able to get that as the document permit. The second one is permit feature. And I'm going to look at the permit feature. So permit feature is slightly different from traditional insurance. Traditional insurance is that you pay a premium to your company, whether it's monthly or annually. And if you get forfeit, you go to the insurance company and say, I've paid this, or I want to pay this because I'm qualified. Or if you're holding insurance because of flood or hurricane or fire, you say that this is the value of the damage, you want to pay this value. But with permanent insurance, you say, I insure my home for each year of hurricane and flood. And if a category 2 comes, you get no money. If category 3, 4, 5, 6, you get the money. If your home is elected, you get the money. If it's not affected, you still get the money. So it's not a fixed and it's not effective and you get paid. But it's what you agree, it's that condition happens, then you get paid. So this is a parametric insurance, a product development to help farmers and fishermen to be able to become more resilient and financially through an innovative insurance. Our time is up. I know because it's delayed a little bit. They know what time it is up. We know the time. Okay, great. There are other social mechanisms that have to come. And I solve your problem is helping others to get better. Yes. So I'm just giving the announcement that we have to move. So thank you, everyone. We invite you to move to your final group. Sorry to cut you short and cut it abrupt, but we are now moving to our final booth for the session. Thank you, everyone, for being part of it. And now we move to our final group, the final one. Great, welcome. Hola.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. The final booth, we invite everyone to move to your final booth, the final one. And we'll be starting our time very soon.
Willing to talk.
Okay, great. I think we have a few more persons coming. So thank you very much for being part of this.
Yes, sir. Well, me and Juan, we're from Chile. We work in the private sector in a company that we install and commission the system for the early detection of forest fires. Get it.
is tax incentive for personal payment. So if you have health insurance, when it comes to the tax return, then you're able to get deducted and the Chamber of Commerce advocated for this initiative so that individuals can get that makes it less expensive for the government, even though they give the tax return. Like, imagine if you have thousands of income in the state, giving money to the so you give money to the government, it will become more expensive. So this is the second one is paramedic. Anyone is paramedic. So paramedic insurance is slightly different from traditional insurance is I pay my premiums to the company, and if I get sick or if something happens to my home, then I'm going to pay if that means okay. But with paramedic insurance, you insure against so you insure against hurricane, it's a fire, it's an accident, and if in case that event happens to hurricane, and your home did not get damaged, you will still get the money against that. If something happens, then you get financial support so these are Would you like any of the examples?
Sir, can I ask, would it be a paramedic insurance if I say in Chile we have a lot of earthquakes? So over at 8.0 earthquake, I'm insured against.
Well, there would have to be a company.
You need a local company?
Well, maybe not necessarily yourself, but there would have to be an insurance company. Look at what insurance things don't make have to have there will be certain people coming up and sharing what paramedic insurance. And I suppose it's things like income, right, not right, but then organizations together with celebrity and creative paramedic insurance funds so like that.
Sir, and I have another question. Regarding tax incentives, do you have experience, let's say, if you give tax incentives, if people get insured, that people are getting more insurance because of that?
So last year, that was for like a million or so, the Chamber of Commerce advocated to the government, and when the law was passed, like when they declared what the law was this year, new cycle, they accepted it. Now this next month, March month, is the end for person to file for their rewards, and we'll see if they will get research after that. Well, I think I've invested in this. So I couldn't feel like before I came here, and I really got a lot of good I invested in insurance.
And what percentage would that could be?
So that's up to $8,000.
The Slido code.
Any other questions? And I think it is not so much used, but it's something more important. And I'm seeing this in my example working already, and I'm pushing what insurance is different things that I did is help me as opposed to doing it myself. And that helps me one to actually see the different one as opposed to trying to know the different. So I really believe that it helps us most because it helps me.
If it doesn't rain.
That's my perspective, of course. But when we have a parametric insurance, you're betting. It's like if you're betting for soccer games or for NFL or anyway. So you're betting in Mexico for the agricultural field, the insurance is not absolutely for favors. Like, are you fulfilling with this request or not? It's just like if it happened or not. So if you have category 5 hurricane and your field is completely flooded and you lose everything, the next day you get the money. And that's working a lot for local governments because before we have
We're just about rounding up.
fideicomisos en México y ahora ya no los tenemos. Entonces, ese riesgo que está quedando residual para los fideicomisos locales.
Okay, we invite all the tables to begin rounding up as we move to the Slido as we end the session. Any of our tables have completed? Okay, we're just ending the session. Thank you very much, everyone. So we invite you to face the screen as we're now going to move to the Slido session. Great. Thank you so much for explaining. And that's okay, right? Great. So we invite everyone to go to slido.com, S-L-I-D-O, slido.com, and to enter the code 1179966. Go to Slido, slido.com, to participate in this final part. Slido.com. And when you get to the page, you enter the code. It will prompt you to enter the code, and you put in 1179966. This is a time that you could, and just to remind, if anyone only speaks Spanish and you want the translation, there's translation available for this final part of the session. All right, so if anyone wants a translation, you could tune in to the channel and you'll be able to hear in Spanish. So everyone is on it. There's a first question that's up, and the first question says, what was a key learning from each booth? So I want you to write what was your key learning from the different booths that you attended, so that we could get an understanding of the lessons that you've learned. Please share one answer for each booth you attended. And you could put it as quickly or as short as possible. You do not have to write a paragraph, but you could write something short from the different booths that you attended. So what was the key learning from each booth? And if you do write it in Spanish, I'll get someone else to translate. But we see flexibility and small-scale tax incentives and innovation, opportunities, types of bonus available. For the private sector, the existence of parametric insurance. For CAF, bonds, hence more funding of climate change and disaster risk reduction protection. Okay. Climate bonds, not as much as I was already aware. Okay, we see Okay, so we'd have to go from one side and go up. Maybe after someone else in Clemmer, you'll speak about the Spanish answers. And then business model to help get grants on insurance. Great. We also see that the difference between funding available between climate adaptation and risk reduction. Also, opportunity to embed risk into adaptation funds. Okay, there are some financial alternatives over there, or opportunities exist and take advantage of everything. That's a great one. Climate change funds for disaster risk reduction and resilience bond is a good idea. New insurance mechanism seems the new mechanisms under development. You have be flexible, channel resources from the climate agenda. That's a good point because there's a lot of funding available, so we would need to be able to find the available resources. We see, okay, for the private sector, there's bonds, insurance, funding with climate change. Okay, and we see some words that are standing out. For sure, bonds, risk reduction, insurance, opportunity, funds, and climate change. So we see quite a bit from this. Clemmer, you would be able to, could you speak to the Spanish version of or the Spanish responses? Because it could have some different points.
Para las respuestas en español vemos la importancia del financiamiento para la adaptación, que hay herramientas disponibles pero aún limitadas para reducción de riesgo de desastre y que son necesarios los seguros paramétricos para resguardar la infraestructura. También la participación del sector privado en temas de seguros, que ustedes aprendieron sobre la utilización de cada instrumento financiero y su mejor opción en cada caso para implementarlos. Conocer que la iniciativa privada tiene opciones, conocer más sobre los bonos climáticos, sobre otras formas de financiamiento para ciudades y ampliar las fuentes de financiamientos que son accesibles para ciudades. Vamos a pasar a la próxima pregunta. Next question, maybe, Lizra?
Yes, next question. And thank you for the 23 persons who responded. We now have the next question. Were the solutions presented at the booth satisfactory to finance the resilience of projects in your city? So if it was satisfactory, if it was highly satisfactory, you could give it a 5. If it was not satisfactory, of course, you could give a 1, but we do hope that it's closer to this side. No pressure. Please be honest in your responses. So far we have 10 persons who responded. It's just a button, so please give your rating of the solutions presented at the booth. Okay, we see we're having more of an average of 3, which is halfway. Okay, great. And we have like just about 20 persons responding, so thank you very much. We see that we have almost equal with, oh, well, it's good, no pressure, but thank you very much for giving at least 4 over, that's a good score, 80%. But thank you very much, and we'd move to the next question where we look at the final one. It's a multiple choice. In your opinion, which financing option is suitable for your city? And you could choose multiple options. So if it's a private sector support, development banks, climate bonds, risk insurance, please indicate which, if all, you could indicate all, but please indicate which are suitable resilient solutions for your city. Which financing solution is suitable for your city? Great, we have just about 18 persons responding, 20. Okay, so we're getting there at least. It's a very popular question. Thank you very much. And we see that from the solutions presented, the development banks, this seem to be very suitable for your city. We also have from the risk insurance, private sector, and climate bonds. I think we have 23 persons responded, which was equal to the first question. So we want to give yourselves a round of applause for being part of this session today. We help you to increase your steps. If you monitor your steps, we help you to increase your steps by moving around the room. But we also hope that it helps to increase the resilience in your city as you learn a bit more about the opportunities that are available. Thank you very much for being part of the session, and we hope that you form some new connections and you're able to learn some insights to help your resilience journey. Thank you to Clément and the rest of the team for their support, and to all our moderators at the booth, thank you very much, and wishing all a successful platform. Great.
Dime.